Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back with Juice to Goose and we are back in the Kansas. Now, I've made it pretty obvious by now to most people that I am slightly biased in the which country I think is the best in World of Warships. Just slightly biased, alright? I've played all of them. I've played all of the ships from every country, pretty much, with the exception of a couple premiums that I've missed here and there. But, all of the tech trees are done. All of the cruisers, destroyers, battleships, all of them. Everything. I've played them all. And in my opinion, and remember, this is still my opinion, the Americans are just the best tech tree. It doesn't matter. But, with that being said, we're in the thickest Tier 7 battleship that there is. She thick. She's slow. She packs a wallop, man. This ship is a lot of fun when it behaves. Doesn't always behave. When it does, oof, watch out. And this video in particular isn't necessarily about the Kansas or the fact that I love American ships, especially the battleships. But, this ship and Will to Rebuild are a match made in heaven. Will to Rebuild, I've said it before, I'll say it again, is broken. Alright? It is broken. There has to be some sort of a limit on Will to Rebuild. Whether it's slowing down the amount of HP that is recovered, or if they put a hard limit on how much HP can be recovered. It has to be fixed. Because having ships that are zombies is wrong. Okay? You should, if you get hit to the point where you are pretty much dead, I don't care if there's like a small amount of health that you can regen, like say if you meet a certain condition and, you know, whatever. But just being able to stay close to somebody and will to rebuild yourself from nothing to 18 or 20,000. Oh my god, we got the hit. Depth strike. Goodbye. Another hipper bites the dust, folks. Keep telling me how the hipper's better than the Baltimore. Just keep doing it. I'll keep showing you how it's not. But anyway, like I said, this thing's very, very nasty when it behaves. Anyway, being able to just constantly regen health is just wrong. Like, that's not how this game is intended to be played. It's such an advantage for one team, and I know what you're saying. Well, Spartan, I mean, any battleship can do it. Will to Rebuild's a battleship perk that's on their commanders. Anybody can do it, right? I get that. But what you're about to see is a perfect example of why Will to Rebuild needs some sort of a balance. Whether it's a cap on how much health you can redo. Instead of being like 18,000, maybe take it down to 12,000 hit points. I don't know what that would be percentage-wise, but you know what I'm saying. Okay? Because here's the reason why. Okay, a Yami, most powerful battleship in the game, period. Has the ability to overmatch everything. It can go straight through the bow of 32mm plating, and it usually hits for 15 to 20,000 damage. If you've got 18,000 damage, or 18,000 hit points because you're able to sit next to a destroyer and stay will to rebuilding, you're almost impossible to kill. They need a perfect shot to finish you off, or multiple people need to hit you at the same time. This is very unfair for the person that is holding a side and trying to defend themselves against a will to rebuild zombie ship. Okay, and that's where I think that the game struggles a little bit. Now, trust me, as a battleship captain, I love Will to Rebuild. But as the person that also has been on the receiving end of trying to kill Will to Rebuild, it is darn near impossible. Unless you have help. Because you almost never get those devastating strikes that you need. Well, I'm not, in devastating strikes, I mean, I'm not talking about actual devastating strikes. I'm just talking about, you don't always get the high roll with the perfect RNG to get the perfect shot to do 20,000 damage through the bow of a ship or a broadside ship. You don't always get those shots to absolutely annihilate people, especially from battleships. And cruisers, have you ever tried to burn down a will to rebuilding battleship? Have you? Pretty freaking difficult. Not impossible, but pretty difficult. It takes at least 2 fires and usually takes 3 fires to get rid of a will to rebuild battleship, because even 2 fires, you don't lose enough health quick enough to die before you get your damage con back. Usually. And then what happens? You damage con and you're right back up to 18,000 hit points in no time. And you're going to see that on display as soon as we get in here. What's going to happen? If you're paying attention to the map, 2 things are going on. My team has turned around to fight the guys coming into the base. Perfect. I have no problem with that. Problem with me is I've kind of overextended it just a little bit. And by overextended, it hasn't quite happened yet. We're still in a pretty good spot where we're only able to be shot at by like 1. But I'm starting to feel a little tingle in the back of my neck about the guys that are on my right side. And the Leon is coming up to help. He's got the Jean Bart right next to me. And he's got an Iowa out in the distance. And I'm the only thing they can see. Which means I've got a whole lot of firepower looking at me. Now, we get double fired by the Leon immediately. Of course we do. So we go ahead. We're still trying to get rid of the Jean Bart, or at least try to break his guns or something. We've got to limit the amount of firepower that's against us. And that's when I noticed that the Vladdy is coming up behind me. And all it's going to take is one look from these guys that could potentially dev strike me. But in my defense, the Vladdy over there, as hard as he is to be taken out from the front with my entire team looking at him, I've got a pretty juicy shot on him as well. And Russian battleships being broadside on doesn't generally end well. Now, he is angled to us, but we're going to take that shot anyway, just in case. American armor piercing has the better improved penetration angles, and wait for it, we get a solid hit. We didn't get the Citadel. We only got 2 full penetrations, but it was worth a shot. Now, what that also does, that gets his attention to go, hey, look, there's an American battleship broadside onto me. And I've already got 3 battleships shooting at me. Why not make it 4? He wasn't even looking at me. So, I get the idea there was to hopefully get rid of that guy or do a serious amount of damage to him while he's fighting my teammates. And this Leon is just begging for it, so I'm going to give it to him. And we absolutely smash him right there. Hitting for 5 penetrations. He gets another double fire on me because 16 guns, they always seem to double fire me. What does the Leon have? Is it 12 or 13-inch guns? Small guns. They're pretty small, but he has 16 of them, so he has a lot of guns. Now here you can start to see that I am well within range of all of these guys, and when I see a broadside Iowa, I start salivating, but he starts turning away. So, definitely not my best choice. And rather than keep dealing with this freaking double fire that every freaking time he hits me, he gets me on fire, I'm gonna go ahead and make this man understand where I'm coming from as we smash him once again, hitting for 6 full penetrations. This is where the Kansas shines. If you can get up close and personal in the Kansas, the amount of firepower that you can bring to bear is disgusting. Disgusting. And it's nasty accurate inside closer ranges as well. So, yeah, we're single fired, but the one that was setting us on fire is dead. We're being absolutely torched right now by the other 2 battleships. But notice that we have Will to Rebuild active. Our buddy Juice, in a destroyer that can't be seen, is going to keep my butt alive. And unfortunately for the enemy team, they're going to struggle to kill me. Why? Because balance. This is balance, guys. There are 2 battleships here that are trying to kill me. Now, obviously, some of this is going to come down to RNG. Some of it's going to come down to me angling pretty well and avoiding getting taken for too much damage per salvo from these guys. But the majority of it's got to go to the freaking Will to Rebuild perk. And Jean Bart decides one last time that he absolutely, simply must go full broadside to a Kansas with 7.5 kilometers. That's an Iowa salvo right there. And that is an absolute paddling that everybody giggles about. You always look for those opportunities to punch a freaking Jean Bart right in his perfect teeth. You know what I'm talking about? If you've never felt that feeling, or a Richelieu, same thing. If you've never actually gotten the opportunity to punch a freaking Jean Bart or a Richelieu right in the perfect teeth. If you know what movie that reference is from, put it down in the comments, and the first person to get it right, I'll pin you. Now, Iowa turns back around to come after us. We know that, obviously he's going to be able to, be taken here. Now, I was hoping he was going to over-rotate, but he doesn't appear to be. So I'm going to go for guns and superstructure here. His superstructure looks a little bit blacked out. So we go for the guns. We get 9,600 damage. That's a pretty solid hit. Not an amazing hit, but he's battle tanking us. I'll take it. And then the Iowa decides to go broadside to the Jean Bart on our team, which is across the cap from me, and broadside to me, avoiding our destroyer who's firing his guns at him. But yeah, Jean Bart punches him right in the mouth, and then of course he doesn't have the hit points to take another salvo from me. We're angled relatively well. He's not shooting at us anyway. We take the shot to yoink the kill, and we get the yoink. So you gotta love it. That gives us our third kill. We're up to 140,000 damage. And look at this thing. This thing is back up to 22,000 hit points on Will to Rebuild. Alright, so I had to go back and re-record this ending because I went on this tangent about this thing being back up to 22,000 and how it's bullcrap because the Yamato only heals up to 18, so how does this thing... If you guys realize, this thing got up to 13,000 on Will to Rebuild, and then we hit the heal button. We had one last heal, so I caught it, I went back, I fixed my mistake before you guys got to see it for once. I know, I'm improving, you don't have to thank me now. I'm a professional. It's what we do. How dare I watch my stuff back and edit it when I screw up. But, yeah. So, that whole tirade I had to get rid of because I was like, this is wrong. Like, how is this thing able to heal back up to 22,000? It only has 69,800 hit points. Yeah, that's because you got to 13,000, then you used your heal, dummy. Anyway, so for the ending of this Jean Bart and I have had an amazing game between the two of us. Both of us have done amazing. Juice was instrumental in keeping my booty alive. And there's still a battleship that I didn't even notice across the other side of the island from us. Juice was huge, keeping me alive to help finish this match. But, yeah. We take a torpedo, we take a second torpedo. Thank God for the torpedo reduction on the Kansas, which is pretty freaking good. And then the destroyer gets spotted and gets smashed by the Jean Bart. The other battleship shoots at him. I don't know if he actually hit, but then we're going to push up. Now, a lot of battleships make a bad decision here. You can see that guy wants to shoot me, but he can't see me because he's in a smoke screen. And I see a lot of people shoot their guns just randomly into the smoke screen trying to hit where those shells are coming from. Well, I hate to tell you, it's very difficult to hit somebody unless you saw them before they disappeared into the smoke. It's very difficult to hit somebody in a smoke screen, with a battleship especially. And so, don't pull the trigger. You can see, we get down here inside the spotting distance, and we take them out because we have the RGA mod. But, yeah. We managed to get close enough. 141,000 damage, Dreadnought, First Blood, Dev Strike, High Cal, 4 kills, 3 Citadels. Most of those coming on that Jean Bart, because that's how it goes. 2344 base XP, top of the leaderboard. Jean Bart, once again, great game for him, 2100 base. And then, of course, Juice coming in third with 2100 base. Between the three of us, we killed 7 out of the 9. So if you like what we're doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.